All right, yesterday, I saw it was 3 to 4 feet at the jetty. So I thought, oh, go surf the twin fin. And then I was like, oh, then you roll up to Pacifica, hit that skate park, and then go surf Lindemar with the 8 foot Canyon glider. Well, all right. So I left the 8.3 behind. Mistake. So Jetty was just like, maybe 4 to 5 even, and just not really working, backwashing off itself, just like a stray memory of the A-frame that it's capable of, but hampered by through the Jetty. So I'm like, okay, my plan's wavering now. But I go out and check Mavericks. Why not? So I hike up on the hillside. I'm checking it all out. Really nice people out there. Met somebody from New Zealand. I said, hey, I love it when it storms out there because we get the surf at Scripps Canyon all summer. Ride a good 7 foot board in July, any month. So anyway, I'm up there at Mavericks and I see a stand-up paddleboarder, getting some pretty good 7 to 8 foot waves, like way on the inside, like out on the edge. And I was really watching it, and it's really big, 15 foot west swell coming in, but it's really just blowing up into the rocks. It's like there was some crazy stuff, like it would be possible to jump off the rock into like a 15 foot plus face, but it was just blowing up all over the place. And but had I that 8.3, I felt like I would have paddled out and like on the inside, way out to the rock on the corner, and pick up a little of these lefts and rights coming in at the just like Mavericks on the inside. Then I could have said I surfed it, but no. So then I go up to the jetty, or no, Lindemar, and it was very crowded and it wasn't that good. So I hung out in the skate shop, or the NorCal surf shop there, talked to some about some skateboarding, went and skated the pretty good skate park. Wish that thing was there when I was there growing up in San Mateo County. There was no skate park like that, but I had a really good time, talked to the people there, and then I started driving north. Um, and Ocean Beach was just going off, 15 foot plus, challenging to get out. But a couple of people on the northern end, one guy was walking out, getting ready to go, and a couple of people on the outside. But yeah, not really for my 8 foot glider, nor for my 6'4" twin. But I have a vision. I'm like, go check Fort Point because I've always wanted to surf there, and this well was big enough to be sending something that way. So I don't. So I turn off next to Golden Gate Park, and I swing around, and I drop into Fort Point, and I see immediately that there's these like just grinding waves come a ways out from the rocks on the inside. It was totally breaking on the outside, and it was still kind of a little bit of a higher tide. But it's like rock garden, rock garden, rock garden. It's like, oh, this looks like a nice wave. Dry reef appears out of nowhere. It's kind of a sketchy place, and that's not even getting into the shark lore, or the extreme currents, which could pull you out to sea or off to Alcatraz, depending on which way the tides go. So anyway, nobody's surfing there, but there's waves. And so I pull up to it, and like, I'm going. This is my chance. Yay. So I pull out the 8 foot glider, and right when I'm suiting up, getting ready, this car parked next to me of like 4, looked like Hindu priests. And never talked to him, but we had this chill vibe going on. So anyway, so I get all suited up, and I literally just out the back of the Land Cruiser, grab my board, walk like less than 15 feet, and maybe more like 10, and you just jump off the rock, and leash didn't get caught on the rocks or anything. And as I was the moment I paddled out, I could see immediately it was like a perfect synchronous wave that showed up, that I just like, I could tell that, hey, I mean, it was breaking close to the rock, but that 8 foot board on plane, I could jut, what would that be, south, and get away, kind of paddle for the shoulder. And I did. I paddled out for the shoulder a little bit on this big wave. So I was, get right on the crest to drop and ride this thing and immediately hit it, paddle on the 8-foot board, pop up, big, 5 foot left, just wrapping that thing, carving till you get to the end. And that's where most people usually exit, is kind of, there's a little rock you can go behind and then scurry up to the little shoreline by the gate where you can park and all the cars get wet. It didn't look that good to exit there. So anyway, so I paddle back out and I'm hanging out there. I get like 5 waves and just scurrying back and forth real easy. A couple of times coming in, it's like, this one's too close going into the rocks, bail off. But you had a little bit of time to make that decision. Again, I saw some weird stuff washed up into the rocks. It would have been interesting to go see what it was, but, kind of a deadly zone, as I found out. There were seals going by. I did not see any sharks, and usually I have this like internal radar where I feel a shark, and it wasn't really going off. So I didn't think there were sharks there, but everybody, watch out for the sharks there. I surf with them at Blacks too. So the thing is about the sharks, they like the remote beaches with no people. Like if it's like a leave us alone kind of place like Chunitas Creek, or Torrey Pines, that's where they like to go. And I think there's too many people at Fort Point for the sharks to be hanging out there, but they probably go by there. So anyway, had a great session. I was like, okay. And I was planning my exit. Now, in hindsight, I wished I would have paddled about almost a half mile down to this really nice sandy beach and then walk back up with my beautiful restored hand-painted surfboard by me for about a month's plus of restoration. But no, I thought, well, if I just wait for the little lull and, sitting next to the rocks, I can see, okay, line up, 20 feet away from the Land Cruiser. And I figured, well, I'll just climb up those rocks real quick. And so I did. I kind of like, okay, 5, you're good. And I just paddle in real quick and started grabbing my board and kind of get the lowest level of rocks and start kind of walking up. And it's taken me a little bit longer than I thought it would. And so, but I'm gathering this really heavy board, 8-foot, totally restored glider with, But anyway, so I'm kind of wobbling a little bit and I'm not making it. And I see the next wave that's coming and it's kind of, it's really washing down the rocks. And I'm like, all right, well, I can deal with this. And I kind of grab the board and I throw it over and I jump over the wave. And it was a heavy board. And I think I kind of threw my back out, or I won't say the hernia word, but well, okay. So I get over that one and, I put it together after that. I grabbed the board. Now I did get a couple of dings, but I got out of there. And it's funny, it really wasn't that far. It's like the closest paddle out from the back of the car to the peak, 20 feet. But it was a treacherous 20 feet. And you would think with all the rock climbing that I do, I would be able to figure out like 10 feet like nothing, but it was slippery and it was wet, and I'm happy to say my leash did not get stuck on a rock. But I really need to go through and look at the board a little more carefully because I expect I picked up a ding. Got a ding.